topic is focused on work ethic. The definition of work ethic is the principle that hard work is intrinsically virtuous or worthy of reward. We are created and called to work with excellence. In Genesis chapter 1, verse 28, God gives us specific work to do in the world, to take the raw material of creation and fill the earth. This includes building cities, industries, or working independently. When it's excellent, our work reflects God's glory. Excellent work creates, sustains, and fixes the world around us. Any excellent work fulfills the call God issued in Genesis chapter 1. When I think of work ethic, I think of doing amazing work, even if no one in the natural sees you or knows you did it. Even though people may not see everything you do, God sees you and notices your excellent work. Work should be done unto God and unto His glory. Be blessed and make it a wonderful day.
Welcome everyone to our Tuesday night edition of the Outlet Online event. Tonight we have another special topic that we want to talk about, which is really near and dear to why the outlet exists. And that is, we exist because we want to see people experience the power of authentic relationships. And the only way we believe that that happens is in the context of life groups. And so tonight, I have on with me our life group directors, Rob and Janine Wilson. And I'm just going to tell you before they introduce themselves, what I absolutely love about them is that I'm not asking them to do something that's not in their DNA. All I'm doing is just asking them to help others experience the passion and the joy and the love for people getting together, no matter where they are, no matter what walk of life. And I'm just so happy to have them on. So Rob and Janine, hey, how are y'all doing?
Hey, how you doing? That's exciting.
So just kind of let everybody know just a little bit about you all, where you all are from, how long you've been in Georgia, and just give us some insight into who are the Wilsons.
All righty. Well, the Wilsons are originally from South Jersey, Philadelphia Eagles fans. But anyway, we've been in Georgia since 2005. We decided a while back to move down in this area because we just fell in love with the area. And to be honest with you, we wanted to bring our kids in a different environment where they can be raised, we felt, comfortably and put in an environment where they can excel. And that's happened. So we're happy that we did that. Everything worked together. We definitely felt like we were led by God to make the decision. The funny part is when we first were considering leaving, a lot of family was like, "What are you guys doing? You moving to Georgia? Is that a crazy move?" Now half of them are down here with us. It's funny how that worked out. But anyway. But we one of the challenges when we first came down was we were really heavily involved with a church up in New Jersey called Living Faith Christian Center. And it was a church from the time we started, it went from 1,500 to about 7,000. And the catalyst behind that growth, we believe, was the first time we were introduced to what was called cell groups, which is the equivalent to what we have right here, which is called life groups. So we were heavily involved in the cell group. But what I consider personally it was the time that I truly developed a relationship with God. Because prior to that, I attended church, but I didn't get involved in church. And I never got involved in the ministries. I just went.
Wow.
So when we attended our cell groups back then, it allowed us the opportunity to mature as Christians and to grow as people in our spiritual walk and our natural walk.
We connected with everybody that was in the group. They became our core friends. And, I think like a lot of Christians, you go to work in your workplace and, maybe there aren't a lot of Christians there or, people are just doing things that you're not into. But getting together with our cell group once a week, we were able just to connect with like-minded people. We could discuss the sermon that happened, things that were going on, and talk about our lives. And they watched our kids grow up. They watched us grow up. It was really a special time.
So when we decided to come down here, we loved our ministry. We loved our pastors. We just loved everything about it. But the biggest challenge was stepping away from our cell group, our equivalent of our life group. All our friends that were affiliated with the group that we were in fully supported us. Even the pastors supported us. But it was a tough pull away. So when we came down here, one of the challenges that we were looking for was to find that experience. And at one point in time, we were like, was that a utopia that we will never experience again? Or we hunted for it. So when we came to the Outlet community, and it was built on the concept of authentic relationships, man, and that's what we were craving for years. So to be a part of that ministry and to help develop it and to encourage people to get involved in it that's just drives us, because we know the benefit of it. We feel the love that comes out of it, and we know our own personal growth as a result of it. So this wasn't a request. This was just an honor to be involved in this ministry.
Now, you all said some things that I think really stand out as, like, for people who are interested in their personal growth, personal development. As a person myself, as a leader, one thing that I'm interested in is how do we get people plugged in? And, I noticed when you all use key points such as connection, relationships, growth, my entry point to the ministry. For whatever reason, I noticed you all didn't use only Sunday morning sermon or only coming to, the church building on Sunday. And I think the reality of the fact that the thing that, as me, a pastor, teaching people, if I really believe that I want people's lives to change, then I think that we really should commit to making sure that we provide as many on-ramps as possible for people to have an opportunity to connect. I found that very interesting, that in you all's lives, your growth was associated to your group. What about the person who, they may have had a great church experience in groups, or a person who didn't have so great of a church experience with other relationships within the church, and today they're sensing, what, I can't do life alone. What's some advice that you could possibly give to them to help them kind of pick up the mantle and head back into building relationships, authentic relationships with others?
I know it's scary. I think it's scary. You don't know, when you look at the outside of a church, you don't know what's going on behind those doors, and it could be spooky, it could be scary. So it takes a little bit of courage. I think the Outlet has removed a lot of the scariness of kind of coming in and we're telling you that we want to be authentic. But I think, with a community of people that are all coming in on the same level, saying, we're looking for a relationship, that it makes it that much easier. But the life groups, since we're setting it up for individual likes and hobbies, or, you like to work out, there's a group of like-minded people, in your age group, maybe not in your age group, but they want to work out too. So you get together and you work out, but these will be people that care about your journey, health-wise, and also spiritually, or just what's going on. Somebody cares whether you had a bad day at work on Tuesday. I think that's the difference between just walking into church, because you sit facing the front of the church, the pulpit, and maybe those three people around you, but you don't know the greater community. And so having the life group gives you the opportunity to know people around you, and for them to know and care about you also.
I think one of the things too with life group, we were listening to a podcast, and I'm not sure if it was Andy Stanley or another person, but one of the things they said was a good precursor to marriage is to get involved into a life group, because as a result, you operate in an environment where you're transparent and you learn to communicate with others. And one of the things about life groups is, even going to church, there's a lot of spiritualese, I would say, where everybody has the perfect words and the perfect phrases, and I'm blessed and highly favored and all that stuff. But within a life group, you get the chance to be transparent. You can show you're vulnerable. A healthy life group, you can be vulnerable. You can say, like, I had a rough week at work. I had a tough time with my kids, whatever. And people open up and say, you know, we did too, and these are some of the things that we did, and you know, you can make it through this because we made it through this. And that's the difference. You can go to a church and you can be in a transient state where you come in, as the former pastor say, I've checked that insurance card off, I'm spiritual for the week. But you don't get a chance to, you know, get into those issues inside of you that you want to, you know, you want to let these things go. And you can get into a life group, you can talk about those things. In a healthy life group, I would say. You could talk like, I had a tough time this week with work. I had a tough time with a formal struggle in my life, and you get surrounded by a group of people that can encourage you. We can do it. We're there for you. And again, that's the difference. You can go a little bit deeper within a circle of others that are similar to you, that you trust, that you feel comfortable around, and that they got your best interest at heart, in my opinion.
I mean, when we really think about it, like Christ had a small group for 3 years. And in his small group, we're now talking about the effects of his one small group thousands of years later. And I often tell people, if I had to, between only having an amazing Sunday morning gathering or having amazing life groups going Monday all the way to the next Sunday, which one would I choose? And I tell people I would rather have the Monday all the way to the next Sunday, because it takes the ability of a person, when a person's speaking on stage, to check out. And now people have eyes on you. I you know, just in my time in ministry, I realized that things can transpire. And I'm sure you all have seen in your time in ministry, life can happen and people can go through these personal battles unnecessarily. But if we have healthy groups and leaders who are committed to just being an extension of the heart of the house, which should come from God, to make sure that there's no person that is disconnected, tremendous things can happen. But that kind of brings me to my next point, which I know in our initial onboarding of life groups, we're starting to see here, is that there are so many people who are looking for authentic relationships. It is exciting, but our reality that stays with us is very few people want to actually lead one of those groups. So,
but no, go ahead.
No, I just really want to know, what is some encouragement to somebody who in their heart, they're like, I think I can, but in their mind, they're like, oh, you better not.
Well, going back to your example of Jesus and the 12. So he did not go to the seminary. He didn't actually walk into, the synagogue. He didn't put in an ad for the brightest, best, smartest biblical minds. He went and picked up a couple fishermen, got a tax collector. He just went and got regular people who had regular life experiences and said, come hang out with me for 3.5 years. And he poured into them. And I believe they poured into him. They were brothers in the end. And he loved them and they loved him. So everything's not written in the Bible what happened, but they supported one another and they went along with one another. So they were qualified to walk with the Son of God here on earth. So you're qualified. Just opening your home or saying, meet me at Starbucks and let's hang out for an hour or so and chat, qualifies you to be a leader. And so, these things, it seems hard, but it's really easy because people are looking for the opportunity to get together. And if you create the opportunity, the people will come. And so really it's willingness that qualifies you to be a leader.
Like I said, you don't have to be a Bible scholar doing the Bible inside out. You just got to be a willing vessel to let God work through you, because we truly believe people want to come together. People want to be around other like-minded people. People want to be around other true Christians that they can feel comfortable with. And you're just being the vessel to allow God to use you to bring these connections together. Because it's not about you as the leader. It's about you allowing God to work through you, because the conversations are going to happen. And the conversations are going to go well beyond what you thought they might have been or where they need to be, because you just don't know, but the Holy Spirit will take over. So it's just a matter just being open and willing and saying that, I can open up myself, my house, my personality, whatever, to allow other people to come together with me so we can walk this journey together. So I know that when we started life groups back in Jersey a long time ago, I was nervous. I was like, man, I'm still relatively new to being saved. And the funny part about it was a guy that went to seminary school that was in my life group. So he knew the Bible at least literally well more than I did, but I was willing to open up my house, and the relationships that developed as a result was amazing. And again, it had nothing to do with my spiritual knowledge. It had more to do with my willingness to be able to let God use the group that I was involved in, bring brothers together. And it was a great experience. In fact, I think we were involved in more than one group. Mm-hmm. I think we had a family group. It was just
but it becomes easy when you just see, what people, want. People want to come together. Mm-hmm. The moment people come, and I know we've talked about this before, the moment people decide to come to your church on Sunday morning at 10 a.m., they got up, they got dressed, they drove to your church. They're looking for something. Ultimately, we're all looking for Jesus Christ. Mm-hmm. And we want an impact to our life. But with the internet now, you could, dial up anyone and, get Jesus through the internet. But if they're walking through your doors, they're coming for community, whether they're an introvert or an extrovert, whether they really don't want to be near people once they get there. They kind of sit off to the side, but they didn't stay home to sit to the side. Wow. They came to that building. So they're looking for something more than what they can get in their living room. And I think the world is lonely. I think people are hurting and they want somebody to know that they're hurting. And the only way anyone's going to know they're hurting is if they go around other people and people see them. And people want to be seen, regardless of what they say. I really, really believe that deep down inside. So see them when they walk through the door and then connect with them and then carry that relationship on further so that you can help with the healing and the growing. And that person has something to give to the group too, not just something to take away. So there's a lot of treasures that are sitting in churches that, no one's turned and looked at them to say, what do you have to give? What do you have to offer? Yeah. They just say, good morning, and continue on. But that person has so much more inside of them.
I know one thing I just was thinking is that, when we decide that we're going to go to the gym and exercise, it's so much easier to go with somebody else and work out together than to go by your own, because there's less likelihood that you're going to fall off. I'm going to meet somebody, we're going to just, and neither one of you have to be good at exercising. The fact that you're doing it together, and that's the equivalent of a life group, in this spiritual walk. If you're walking with somebody together, it's a little bit harder to fall off. It's because you can rely on somebody else, they can rely on you, and it becomes a group effort. It becomes a joint effort to get to the goal. And the goal of this one is to grow closer to Christ. So wow. Or to learn more about your Christian walk. So, it's powerful. And again, you don't have to be this spiritual giant to do it. You just got to be a willing person, willing to open up to do it. And I think God takes over the rest.
Wow. No, I'm immensely blessed by this conversation, because this is truly the heart of God. What we're describing is what our world is looking for, as you all have just alluded to. Our world is looking for a deeper connection, even in an even more globally connected world than ever before. We're not creating authentic connections. We're creating artificial connections, and we have to get beyond the compliment of only being friends because of acquaintance via email or social media, but at times getting into each other's presence, having authentic dialogue, even if we're worlds apart. If we can break down the wall to have authentic dialogue, tremendous change can happen. So I thank you all for leading this charge, embodying the heart of Christ, the heart and the mission and vision of the Outlet community for life groups. As I was looking at our goals, our objectives, our plan as a church, the only vehicle that can accomplish everything that we're supposed to do in one area alone is life groups. Therefore, it is one of the most powerful tools that God has given all of us, and a part of his great commission, I would say. So thank you, Rob and Janine. So for those who are part of the Outlet community and are interested in either leading or becoming a part, what are some ways that they can get in contact with you all, catch an orientation, and just kind of find out more about life groups at the Outlet?
Well, after services, there will be a life group leader orientation. You can attend it, not that long, just kind of give you some pointers about, what life group ministry is about and how to get started. And then there'll be trainings beyond that point. But obviously, you can call the church at any given time and request information about life groups. You can go on the Outlet Community website. Just multiple ways.
Or email.
Yes. But there's multiple ways of just reaching out, and we will definitely make sure you're connected and again get you ready and started and get ready for the next semester so we can all be blessed by what you have to offer to the body of Christ.
Life at thecommunityoutlet.com.
Oh, and
Email.
There you go.
Email us. We'll call you back.
Yeah,
Definitely.
We do one-on-one orientations. We're so excited. We're amped.
Yep, so,
and we're equally excited.
absolutely.
Yes.
So thank you all so much for just sharing that tonight on our Outlet online event. It's just our way to let the world know what's going on. And honestly, you all, for everyone that's watching, this is the equivalent of one of our meetings in person. So, and this is one of the more civil ones. So if you get our entire board together, we are a life group ourselves. And
Yes, we are.
it's serious. It gets the job done. But you talk about some laughing and just doing life
Absolutely.
together. We believe that that's something that's vital to a healthy community.
Yes.
So
Yes.
you all stay on. Ash and I will be right back to close out tonight. And just again, thank you, Rob and Janine. And y'all hold on just a minute. We'll be right back.